Not a super long video today, but I have had a lot of people ask me, should I buy a home or rent a home while I am waiting for a lot to come available that I like or waiting for my home to be built? So I'm going to answer that question today. And in true Kelley fashion, I'll probably throw in a few more nuggets here and there. I just can't help it. So today's video is more of a, it's more of a Q&A. I had people ask me these questions, so I'm going to go ahead and answer them on the video, just like I would in person, so that you can have a feel for just whether or not this is a good idea for you. Stay tuned for today's video. Hi, I'm Kelley Norton, your AZ Realty lady at EXP Realty. Count on me for all things Arizona real estate. So if this is your first time to the channel, I want to introduce myself. I'm Kelley Norton. I'm known as the AZ Realty lady, owner of the Arizona Living Group, and I'm an associate broker here at EXP Realty. I'm a Valley native. I grew up in Phoenix. I've lived here. I've raised my family here. I have a son. He's now at ASU. And we live in Peoria, Arizona, but I have lived in 8 different cities here in the Valley. So Valley native and a real estate agent of over 23 years. I have seen different real estate markets. I have seen people try and sell homes, compete against builders that are still building in a neighborhood. I have seen pretty much anything you can imagine happen in the real estate market happen. So one question that I've received is it a good idea for us? Well, let me just back that story up. So they were looking for a home. We've already got them into a rental, and they're looking for a home potentially to buy while having a home built. And the home that they want to have built is in the same area, but they're waiting for a lot to come available. So I asked that question, what is the goal? What are the plans here? So they were asking me, for my advice on, is this a good idea? Are we going to be able to make money on this sale by purchasing and holding it for 2 years? Now, we don't have a crystal ball in real estate. If we did, I'd be retired and I would not be probably sitting here talking to you. I'd be sitting in my mansion and probably having you guys all over for a party. So, but I do want to answer this question because different markets can provide for a different answer with that. Now, obviously, if you are in a lower market and something happens that's unforeseen, like we had happen the last few years and also happened in 2005 where values rose, sure, if you bought the home, you'd make money in 2 years. Real estate is not intended as a quick bang, for you to make a profit that fast. It's more of a slow roll, steady investment over time, and typically is a very safe place to invest for a long-term investment. So flipping a house and, or having a home and only having it for a year or two is something that might not be a great idea. One thing you want to think about is talk to a tax professional about capital gains, because if you're not living in the home long enough, that could be a problem for you. But this particular person was actually looking in an area where homes are about 10 to 15 years old. There's a few that are 2 to 5 years old, but for the most part, homes are 10 to 15 years old. They don't have new air conditioners. They don't have new roofs yet. And there is a subdivision that is being built that's also an active adult, so active adult community here, and another active adult community being built right across the way by the same developers, but they're not going to be able to share amenities. And pretty soon you're probably going to know what community I'm talking about. But so what I wanted to make sure that they understood was when they go to sell their house, it's very important that and you kind of can project what a market condition would be like when you're selling that home. So this is what I had this particular buyer do. I said, let's imagine, fast forward, that you're putting your home on the market. Who's your competition at that point? It's the builder. So the same thing you're wanting to do moving over to that new subdivision is also other people in your neighborhood might be doing the same thing. So number one, you're going to have more listings coming on in that neighborhood. A lot of people that built their home 10 to 15 years ago are now going to want to move over to that newer area. So that could be something that could potentially cause for you to have a slightly higher risk with trying to turn that profit quickly. Now, I'm not saying don't try and sell a home if you're in an area and you want to move over to the new. I'm just saying if you buy a home and you try and sell it quickly, you have to think about these things on the other side. I have helped sellers in these types of market conditions. And so I know that as soon as that new subdivision opens up, there's people that have their homes over here. They're going to want to move over. And now we're going to have a rise in listings. And it's going to be slightly harder to compete against the builder when everything's new and shiny. And the homes over here are 10 to 15 years old. They're coming up on needing air conditioners. Some of them are even closer to 20 years old, and they might need roofs at that point. And the homeowner isn't going to want to do that and then move. So the buyer's not going to want to do that. So a lot of times buyers are either going to want a better deal or they're going to go buy the new home just like you are. So something to think about, right? So the second thing that you want to consider is just that. They're going to want new and shiny and new. So you're going to have that builder that you're competing against. The builder can offer, in today's market, rate incentives. So interest rate incentives, closing cost incentives. So you as a seller are probably not going to be able to offer those kind of things. So that can hurt you when you're competing against a builder. So it's certainly something to think about. So I just wanted to pop on and just share that with you so that you kind of had a feel for if you're trying to do something where you're not renting for a year or two while a home is coming available and you're buying, great. I love it. I love the idea of doing that, but you just want to make sure that you think about that end game and you can just be prepared. So maybe you need to get a better deal on that house. Maybe you need to get a house that's already got everything done to it. Because the last thing you want to do is go dumping money into this house that you're going to have to then turn around and try and pull as much profit out of. And if you keep adding to it and you don't get a good deal, then you're probably going to be upside down in a year and not be able to sell it quickly unless the market does a big boom. And if interest rates drop, that might happen. So you just never know. We don't have the crystal ball, but in a normal market, I want to prepare you for what that might look like. Another thing to think about is make sure that it's a great location. Location. So make sure it's a great location. The condition is good. And if it has some of that new stuff, maybe the air conditioner's been replaced, everything is a little bit more modern and new, that's definitely going to help that investment. Guys, I'm Kelley Norton. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you like the information I provided, please click the bell, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to watch any of the other videos. If you have anything that you'd like me to film or like me to talk about, feel free to put it in the comments here. Thank you so much, and until next time, take care. Bye-bye.